time is finally here. The 2023 OKBT Bass Trail is finally upon us. Tomorrow is the very first tournament of the year. It's actually on my local lake, which is Lake Nipissing, all on the west arm of the lake. So it's opener for that lake. It should be interesting to see. There's a lot of water to cover. There's a lot of different targeting areas you can do on the rivers, on the bays, largemouth, smallmouth. It's going to be a great tournament. So far, last time I checked, there was over 123 anglers signed up for this event. So it's the biggest one yet for the OKBT as far as I know. So super excited to see this many anglers out. Today we're at the Somerton Family Cottage. My family cottage here, which is actually on the Upper Sturgeon River, which connects into actually the territory of this tournament. It's not a part of it, but this is part of the body of water. Now, secret to you guys, since nobody else is going to see this yet, I will be fishing the lower part of this river. Now, understanding some of the structure and understanding how these fish move around at certain times of the year, being fishing on this river for a few years, I'm hoping it's going to give me a little bit of an edge, but who knows? There's a lot of fantastic anglers that I'm up against, so it should be a fun one. Exciting thing for this is I actually have three of the guys from this tournament series actually coming to stay with me at this cottage. So it's supposed to be a really rainy day tomorrow. So I'm gonna be dressed up a little warm because it's kind of cool and try to stay dry. So hopefully I can capture all this in good video for you guys. I'm excited to take you along. Let's see what happens. My video. Nelly, having a good cook-off?
Yeah. Ready to have a great dinner.
Woo!
Yeah. Steaks. Nothing bad.
The meat's so soft.
Yes. It's no.
How's dinner, guys?
Amazing.
Good.
Amazing.
Very good. I don't find no place use the meat like this and cheap.
You could literally cut this stuff with a fork. It's phenomenal. And what is this stuff called?
Chimichurri.
Chimichurri. Get some chimichurri on top. You can literally eat it off your fork, and it's delicious. Here we are, tournament morning. It's the opener for bass on Lake Nipissing. I believe there's over 130 anglers signed up for this event, so it should be fantastic. Tons of great anglers. I've had the pleasure, if you've seen from the video, obviously, from hanging out with some of the guys and even meeting some guys at the launch here this morning. It should be a great day of bass fishing, so we're just out here to have some fun, hopefully fill our limit, and with any luck we do good in the standings. So I'm going to test out all this new equipment we've got this year, and hopefully it helps us stay on these fish, and hopefully I got some good angles for you guys to watch. We have 15 minutes till the start of the tournament here, so we're just kind of waiting here. My plan is to kind of fish shallow at first, see if they've moved up. Water temperatures are pretty cold for this time of year, so I don't know if they will be. We're just going to spend the first little bit trying to figure out these fish, obviously, and get after them. Let's go have a great day. Thanks for coming along. All right, we're going to do something a little bit different this time. So if you couldn't tell by the thumbnail, I did get skunked in this tournament, but I definitely want to spend some time to recap the conditions and what I did and what I think I could have done differently. And all in all, just the experience of it. I plan on attending 5 events this year at least. So I really want to make sure I take you guys along with this. So right here, I'm starting on the river, as you can see from the intro, and I wasn't having any luck. A couple hours I spent on the river, no bites or anything, so I decided to cross the lake, and here I am. Actually, there's a cottage that was on that island, so I fished on that for a little while. Again, another couple hours I went around these small islands. There was a lot of grassy water, only about 4 feet deep, and I still wasn't getting any bites. I was trying to go right off the rocks, hoping that they'd come in shallow. Now, going back to the river part of it, the water temps were only 50 degrees, so I knew the very slim chance that anything would have moved up to spawn, but I was happening to mark stuff in the 20-foot range in the river, and I just couldn't get anything to bite. I really threw almost the whole tackle box at it. So again, I spent some more time over at these islands, which I thought was a good move for me, but it just wasn't panning out. Now, the one thing I do regret from this location that I wish I would have spent more time maybe going out into not necessarily deeper water, because like I said, 4 to 6 feet max was this area. I would have wished I would have spent more time in the open water area, maybe throwing a spinner bait or possibly a chatter bait on top of those dead weed lines. I think that could have helped. But as you can see here from the video, the weather is really starting to pick up from when I first came out to this island area. And it was at this point where, you know, you can't really tell from the footage right here, but it was starting to get a little nasty. The rain started coming down really strong here. And so I was spending more time hunkered in near those islands, really trying to get myself out of the weather and just a little bit sheltered from the wind and everything else. Not only was it wet and rainy, but it was pretty cold that day, so, and being soaked at the same time wasn't helping. Here we are at this point. I'm actually heading back to the main break wall that's in front of this one cottage, and I thought to myself, you know, this wind is really starting to pick up, this rain is getting heavier, I should probably try to make my move back to the river. Now that being said, I'm almost 5 kilometers out from the river, and here we are. You can see that wind's already starting to pick up. You can see that break wall in front of me, and you know, so I'm not really feeling the full force of these waves yet because that break wall is obviously breaking it up. As I'm really starting to hit these heavier chops, I'm really starting to get nervous, like, okay, am I going to get stranded out here? And again, the motor and all this extra weight of the battery and everything is new to me, so I'm not sure how the Outlaw is really going to handle it. Surprisingly enough, it actually did extremely well, and I was fairly comfortable with it after the time. But as you can see, these, you know, again, behind this break wall, and the waves are coming right over the top. Guppers were definitely doing their job, but it was definitely very slow moving going back down those scupper holes, because as fast as it was going out, it was coming back in faster. So you can see here, I kind of turned back towards that break wall for a little bit. I hunkered in back there for a little bit, and then finally I decided, you know what, I gotta make my way across. I gotta get past this. So here you can see I'm getting kind of hit from both sides with these heavy waves, and again, 5 kilometers out. But I'm starting to make my way back to the river, and this was probably the stupidest thing I've ever done in a kayak. But you know what, I was very determined to finally try to get on some fish, and I thought, you know, getting out of this weather and getting back to the river was going to be the smart move. Thinking back on it now, I wish I would have stayed out there and tried some more of the islands, but as you can see, it was just nasty weather. But I still, you know, as cold as it was, and like, it was just bone-chilling cold. I make my way here back. It takes me about 2.5 hours to make the 5 kilometers, just because even with the trolling motor full blast, because I was coming out of the water so much, that propeller really wasn't staying underwater a lot of the time. So between the heavy winds and the waves, it was taking me quite a long time to get back. Surprisingly enough, the battery held up very well, like all day using the pinpoint on it, plus making this long trek on high speed, because I had to go full bore on it, so I really wasn't utilizing my amp hours of the battery. But at this point, I needed every bit of thrust I had in order to keep pushing myself through these waves. Making myself way through, and if you guys haven't seen the video on Instagram, go check it out. It's a little Instagram video as I was out there, and it was actually quite comical. As bad as this weather was, I was having a great time. I was keeping in contact with Nelly throughout the tournament, just seeing how he was doing and stuff. And he fished in a bay not too far from where I was actually fishing. And what I came to realize was water temperatures was certainly different. After talking to him after the tournament there, my water temps, like I said, in the river were about 50 degrees. When I went out to those islands, when I crossed the lake, I was about 52, so I did get a little bit more of a temperature. But what I found out from the guys after the tournament was they were sitting around the 57 to 58 degree water temperatures, which I really believe that's what helped them out. Now, those guys did a phenomenal job, and so did so many other anglers. The 3 guys at the cottage there, we had Nelly, we had Juan, and Alex there, and all 3 of them actually made top 10. So Juan got 4th place, which was phenomenal. I want to congratulate Juan. Good job, buddy. Alex got 6th, and Nelly got 9th. So just a phenomenal job on those guys to come to a lake they've never been to and do so well. So thanks for watching this video and sticking it out with me. I know I got skunked, but again, I want to take you along on all these adventures. So all we can do is regroup and do better on the next one. So fishing is a huge element in my life. I hope it's a huge element in yours. Wherever you are, live the element.